In a world that's so full of noise, what does it really mean to be called to something? Today, we're going to dive into that very question, but through the lens of a beautiful collection of Urdu poetry by Adeel Zaidi. It's called Azan-E-Majlis, which translates to The Call to the Gathering. Now that title, it's both an invitation and a really powerful statement. So what is this call and why does it resonate so deeply? Let's get into it.
The poet wastes no time. The book opens with this really striking invitation. Come to the Majlis to weave a garland of tears. Wow. That immediately tells you everything about the tone. We're not being called to some lighthearted party. We're being called to a place of deep emotion, a place where sorrow itself can be transformed into something meaningful, maybe even something beautiful, like a garland. So this entire collection is built around this idea of a call, an invitation. But a call to what, exactly? And who's being invited? Well, to really get that, we first have to understand the gathering itself. At the absolute heart of this poetry is the concept of the Majlis. Now, it literally just means a gathering, but in this context, its meaning is so much deeper. It's a specific kind of assembly within Shia Islam dedicated to mourning and remembering the tragedy of Karbala, which was a really pivotal and heartbreaking event in Islamic history. This is the space where that garland of tears is woven. And our guide through this whole experience is the book itself, Azan-E-Majlis. Through the verses of the poet, Adeel Zaidi, we're going to explore all the different layers of meaning behind this call to gather and to remember.
The invitation couldn't be clearer. It's almost a command, really. Come. But that immediately leads to the next question, doesn't it? Why? Why should someone answer this call? What is the real purpose of gathering to remember something so tragic? Well, the poetry gives us some incredibly powerful answers. Okay, so why answer the call? It turns out the purpose isn't just about looking back in sorrow. It's actually about finding this profound strength and meaning for your life right now, in the present. The poetry lays out a few really compelling reasons to attend this gathering. So the first reason is deeply spiritual. The poetry tells us this is a place to find your footing, to walk on the path of faith. It's an invitation to reconnect with the absolute core of what you believe. And this is where the poetry takes a fascinating turn. This isn't just about quiet reflection. It's about real transformation. To change your own destinies. That's a powerful statement. The message is that this act of remembering, it isn't passive. It has the power to actually alter your course, to inspire real, tangible change in your life. The call also extends to your mind, to your soul. It's an invitation to go on an intellectual and philosophical journey, a chance to grapple with the meaning of truth. By studying what happened in the past, we're being asked to reflect on what it means to live with justice, with integrity, and with righteousness today. Of course, at the very core of the Majlis is a story of immense sorrow and sacrifice. And the poetry, it doesn't shy away from this at all. In fact, it leans right into the grief to find its most powerful message. The story that anchors this whole collection is the event of Karbala. It's about the stand taken by Imam Hussein, who is the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. He and his small group of followers stood for principle against this massive, tyrannical army. It was a choice that led to their martyrdom, but it cemented their legacy as these timeless symbols of justice and sacrifice. The level of sacrifice here is almost impossible to imagine. This verse, it paints such a vivid picture of a martyr who, even though he's intensely thirsty, refuses the water of the Euphrates River. Why? Out of loyalty to his besieged companions. It's just this profound image of choosing your principles over your own survival.
But this deep grief, it isn't meant to be a darkness that just puts out all the hope. Instead, the poetry tells us it's like a lamp that burns in the heart. So it becomes this constant, illuminating presence, a source of moral clarity that actually lights the way forward for the believer. So, where does all of this lead? After the tears are shed, after the sacrifices are remembered, what's the enduring message? What are we supposed to carry with us when we leave the gathering? The poetry itself prompts us to ask this very question. What remains after the Majlis is over? Is it just sorrow, or is there something more? Well, the poet suggests there's a clear path from that emotion to real action. It's almost like a three-step journey. First, the poetry seeks to awaken the heart, to awaken that faith and emotion. Step 2, it calls you to really comprehend the depth of the sacrifice, what was lost. And then, finally, and this is the most important part, it inspires you to live with purpose, to take those lessons of truth and integrity and build a life guided by them.
And the final message of the book is maybe its most profound. The poet declares that this very call to the Majlis is the guarantee for the eternity of faith. The idea here is that by continuously gathering, by remembering, and by learning from the past, the core principles of justice and integrity are kept alive. They're passed down through generations. It's just this powerful statement on how collective remembrance doesn't just honor the past, it actually secures the future.